Hi students, today I am going to deal the topic Introduction to Biomedical Instrumentation, Chapter 3. The subtopic is Introduction to Human Body System, Human Cell Structure and Block Diagram of Biomedical Instrumentation System. Block Diagram of Biomedical Instrumentation System. Learning objective. Upon completion of this presentation, you will be able to understand the concepts of Introduction to Human Body System, Human Cell Structure, Block Diagram of Biomedical Instrumentation System and Components of Biomedical Instrumentation System. Upon completion of this presentation, you will be able to understand the concepts of Introduction to Human Body System, Human Cell Structure, Block Diagram of Biomedical Instrumentation and Components of Biomedical Instrumentation. The human body is a complex, highly organized structure made up of unique cells that work together to accomplish the specific functions necessary for sustaining life. The human body is a complex, highly organized structure made up of unique cells that work together to accomplish the specific function necessary for sustaining life. The biology of human body includes physiology and anatomy. Physiology is how the body functions. Physiology relates to the normal function of the organs of the body. It relates to the normal function of the organs of the body. The function of the cell, pathological functions of the organs, blood circulation relating to functioning of the heart, the functioning of breathing organs, all these relate to physiology. It relates to the normal function of the organs of the body. The anatomy is the science of structure of the body, its organs as seen by the naked eye. It is the body, how the body is structured. Anatomy is how the body is structured. The anatomy is the science of structure of the body, its organs as seen by the naked eye on dissection and the position of the organs in relation to each other. Physiological system of the body. Human body is a complex engineering marvel which contains various types of systems such as electrical, mechanical, hydraulic, pneumatic, chemical and thermal systems. Physiological system of the body consists of a complex engineering marvel which contains various types of systems such as electrical, mechanical, hydraulic, pneumatic, chemical and thermal systems. These systems communicate internally with each other and also with the external environment. All these systems, they communicate internally with each other and also with an external environment. Using multi-level control system and communication network, the individual systems enable the human body to perform useful tasks, sustain life and reproduce itself. Using multi-level control system and communication network, the individual systems enable the human body to perform useful tasks, sustain life and reproduce itself. Major systems of the physiological system of the body. Our body is made up of 11 systems, each of which have been designed to fulfill different functions. Our body is made up of 11 systems. It is made up of 11 systems, each of which has been designed to fulfill the different functions. The major subsystems of the physiological system of the body are cardiovascular systems, the respiratory system, the nervous system, the digestive system, the excretory system, reproductive system, biochemical system which performs vital functions required to carry out the various body functions. So these are the major subsystems of the physiological system. What are the subsystems of the physiological system? Subsystems are, you can see in the figure. The figure shows the basic major subsystems: the circulatory system, the nervous system, the respiratory system, the digestive system, and the skeleton system. The figure shows the major subsystems of the physiological system: the circulatory system, the nervous system, the respiratory system, the excretory system, and the skeletal system. As I already told you, our body is composed of 11 systems and each is designed to fulfill different functions. Each is designed to fulfill different functions. So, I'll just give you a brief introduction of the different systems. We have the digestive system. This is the system that breaks down food and absorbs its nutrients. The system that breaks down the food and absorbs its nutrients is said to be the digestive system. The system that breaks down the food and absorbs its nutrients is the digestive system. We have the muscular system. This system provides the body with the movement. There are 3 types of muscles. The muscles are skeletal muscles, cardiac, and smooth. Skeletal muscles are attached to the bones and they are voluntary. We have 2 types, voluntary and involuntary type of muscles. Skeleton muscles which are attached to the bones are voluntary. They are consciously controlled by the nervous system. The cardiac vascular muscles causes the heart to pump blood and they are involuntary. They contract automatically. As I told you, we have 2 types, voluntary and involuntary. Involuntary is not under our control. They are controlled automatically. Smooth muscles are also involuntary and cause movement in other organs. These are the muscles that push the food that we eat down the esophagus and into the stomach. Smooth muscles are also involuntary and cause movement in other organs. These are the muscles that push the food that we eat down and esophagus and into the stomach Then we have the other type of body system, that is integumentary. The integumentary system includes skin, which provides sensory receptors and protects the body. The integumentary system includes skin, which provides sensory receptors and protects the body. Then we have the excretory system. This system gets rid of the body waste, various body waste. It includes the sweat glands where the body excretes unnecessary salts, kidneys which filter the blood, and the urinary tract. So the system which get rid of the various body waste is said to be the excretory system. It includes the sweat glands where the body excretes unnecessary salts. Then we have the kidneys which filter the blood and the urinary tract. Then we have the reproductive system. The reproductive system allows for continuation of life. They allow for continuation of life. Gametes from the male sperm and the female eggs combine to form a zygote, a unique combination of genes with no other human being has, which no other human being has. Then we have the circulatory system. The circulatory system is the system that our body allows the blood to flow through, that our blood flows through. It carries nutrients and oxygen to all the organs of the body and carries away waste from the different parts of the body. So it is a system that our blood flows through. It carries nutrients and oxygen to all the organs of the body and carries away waste. Respiratory system. The respiratory system provides the body with oxygen and it expels carbon dioxide from the body. The nasal passage, trachea, bronchial tubes, lungs and alveolar are involved in this process. Inhaled oxygen is broken down in the alveoli. There is the tiny air sacs that are present in the lungs and then passed into the capillaries where it travels into the bloodstream. In the same way, carbon dioxide from the blood is passed back into the alveoli and exhaled from the blood. It is passed back into the alveoli and exhaled from the blood. So the respiratory system provides the body with the oxygen and it expels carbon dioxide from the body. It expels carbon dioxide from the body. Then we have the skeletal system. The skeletal system provides structure for the body and protection for the body internal organs. It provides structure it forms a frame for the body and protection from the body internal organs. Bones, ligaments, joints and skull are all the part of the skeleton. Immune system. The body immune system fight against the diseases. The lymphatic system is the main defense mechanism within the system. A liquid called lymph flows over the tissues and carries off harmful bacteria which is filtered out in the lymph nodes. White blood cells which are produced in our bone marrows are another important part of the body defenses. Body defenses. The nervous system. The brain, spinal cord and the nerves work together to coordinate the body's action. The brain, spinal cord and the nerves all work together to coordinate the body's actions. Our senses are also part of this system, allowing us to see, taste, smell, touch, hear and feel pressure and pain. Okay, the brain, spinal cord and the nerves work together to coordinate the body's action. This forms the nervous system. Our senses are also part of this system. Then the endocrine system is made up of chemical messengers which control many bodily activities. The endocrine system which is made up of chemical messengers which control many bodily activities. Hormones initiate many bodily processes such as reproduction, growth and digestion. Characteristics of a human cell. Before studying about the characteristics of a human cell, I would like to tell you what is a cell. Cells are the basic building blocks of all living organisms. They are the basic building blocks of all living organisms. The human body is composed of trillions of cells. What does the cell do? It provides structure for the body. It takes in nutrients from the food. It converts those nutrients into energy and carry out specialized functions. Cells also contain the body's hereditary material and can make copies of themselves. So they are the building blocks of all living organisms. The human body is composed of trillions of cells. They provide structure for the body, take in nutrients from the body, convert these nutrients into energy and carry out specialized functions. Cells also contain the body's hereditary material and can make up copies of themselves. A cell is a structural and functional unit and biological unit of any living matter which is capable of carrying all the processes of life independently. It carries out all the processes of life independently. A cell consists of an ionic conductor which is separated from the outside environment by a semi-permeable membrane. That is the speciality of a cell. It is surrounded by a semi-permeable membrane. Means it acts as a selective ionic filter to the ions. It allows some ions to pass through the membrane freely, whereas others cannot do so. All living matter is composed of cells of different types. Human cells, they vary from 1 micron to 100 microns in diameter, from 1 mm to 1 meter in length, and have a typical membrane thickness of 0.01 micron. They have a typical membrane thickness of 0.01 micron. The tissues which form the body consist entirely of the cells. The tissues which form the body consist entirely of cells. Individual cells are too small to be seen with the naked eye. The individual cells are too small to see with the naked eye. They can be seen only by using a microscope. Cells are distinguished by the way they absorb and by their shape and size. You can distinguish different size of cells from the way they absorb and by the shape and size. As I told you earlier, the cells provide structure to the body. They take in nutrients from the food, convert those nutrients into energy, and carry out specialized functions. This is the basic structure of a cell. The cell consists of the cell membrane. You have the cell which contains the membrane outside. It is the basic building block of life. Each cell contains a fluid called cytoplasm, which is enclosed by membrane. Also, there are other organelles which are present in the cytoplasm. The cell comprises of several organelles that perform specialized functions to carry out life's processes. Every organelle has a specific structure. So, when we see the cell interior is organized into different individual organelles surrounded by separate membrane. The nucleus, major organelle, holds genetic information necessary for reproduction and cell growth. Every cell has one nucleus and membrane bound organelles in the cytoplasm. Organelles in the cytoplasm. So the mitochondria, a double membrane bound organelle, is mainly responsible for energy transaction, vital for the survival of the cell. Then we have the endoplasmic reticulum, which plays a significant role in the internal organization of the cell by synthesizing selective molecules and processing, directing and sorting them to their appropriate locations. The lysosomes, what do? They digest unwanted materials in the cell. The cell consists of the plasma membrane. Inside the cell, there are a number of organelles floating in a fluid called cytoplasm. Each organelle contained in a membrane are small in structure. They have highly specialized functions. The tissues are held together by themselves with a material called intercellular cement. A fluid called interstitial fluid or extracellular fluid is able to flow to each cell. This fluid provides nourishment to the cell, removes waste products from the cell, and also responds to electrochemical impulses. This is the human cell. The human cell comprises individual components with specific functions essential to carry out life's processes. These components, individual components, include cell wall, cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, and cell organelles. The cell membrane supports and protects the cell. What does the cell membrane do? It supports and protects the cell. It controls the movement of the substances in and out of the cell. It controls the movement of the substances in and out of the cell. It separates the cell from the external environment. The cell membrane is present in all the cells. Cell membrane is the outer covering of a cell within which all other organelles such as the cytoplasm and the nucleus are enclosed. It is also referred to as plasma membrane. By structure, it is a porous membrane with pores which permit the movement of selective substances in and out of the cell. Besides this, the cell membrane also protects the cellular component from damage and leakage. It forms a wall-like structure between the two cells as well as between the cell and its surroundings. This is the purpose. This is the importance of the cell membrane. Then the next part is your cytoplasm. It is a thick, clear, jelly-like substance present in the cell membrane. Most of the cell reactions within a cell take place in this cytoplasm. The cell organelles such as endoplasmic reticulum, vacuoli, mitochondria, ribosomes are suspended in this cytoplasm. All the cell organelles are suspended. You can see in the figure we have the endoplasmic reticulum, the lysomes, the ribosomes, the Golgi apparatus, the mitochondria. All these are held inside the cytoplasm. Then the nucleus. The nucleus contains the hereditary material of the cell. It contains the hereditary material of the cell, the DNA. It sends the signals to the cell. To grow, mature, divide and die. The nucleus is surrounded by a nuclear envelope and separates the DNA from the rest of the cell. The nucleus protects the DNA and is an integral component. It protects the DNA. Then we have the cell organelles. Cells are composed of various cell organelles. They perform certain specific functions to carry out the life's processes. The different cell organelles along with its principal function are as below. The nucleus is the site of the nucleolus is the site of the ribosome synthesis. It is involved in controlling cellular activities and cellular reproduction. The nuclear membrane protects the nucleus by forming a boundary between the nucleus and other cell organelles. Chromosomes play a crucial role in determining the sex of an individual. Each human cell contains 23 pairs of chromosomes. The endoplasmic reticulum is involved in transportation of substance throughout the cell. It plays a primary role in the metabolism of the carbohydrates, synthesis of lipids, steroids and proteins. Then next comes your Golgi bodies are called cell post offices as it is involved in the transportation of materials within the cell. Then the ribosomes are protein synthesizers of the cell. The mitochondria is called the powerhouse of the cell. It is also called so because it produces ATP and cell's energy currency. The cell's energy currency. Okay. Then lysomes, they protect the cell by engulfing the foreign bodies entering the cell and helps in cell renewal. They help in cell renewal. Therefore, it is known as cell's suicide bags, lysomes. Then we have the vacuoles which store food, water and other waste material in the cell. Vacuoles which store food, water and other waste in the cell. So these are the human cell structure and the internal parts of the human cell. So what are the functions of a cell? So the cell provides support and structure to the body. The cell provides support and structure. The cell membrane provides support and structure to the cell. It facilitates growth, mitosis it is called. It allows transport of substances. Various nutrients are imported by the cells to carry out various chemical processes going on. Then it is used for energy production. They are used for energy production. They are helpful in reproduction. They aid in reproduction. These are the major or most important functions of the cell. The most important functions of the cell are they provide structure and support. They facilitate growth. They allow transportation of substances. They produce energy, and they are helpful in reproduction. They are helpful in reproduction. Coming to biomedical instrumentation. Biomedical instrumentation, what is meant by biomedical instrumentation? Biomedical instrumentation and engineering is an application of knowledge and technology to solve problems related to living biological systems. Problems related to living biological systems. We use some application or we use some technology to solve the problems of living biological systems. It involves diagnosis, it involves treatment, it involves prevention of disease in humans. It involves diagnosis, it involves treatment, and it involves prevention of diseases in humans. As the medical field is emerging, the area of biomedical engineering is an expanding field. We use the term bio to denote something related to life. So when the discipline of engineering and medicine interacts, when basics of physics and chemistry get applied to living things, we name them as biophysics or biochemistry. When the basics of physics and chemistry are applied to living things, we name them as biophysics or biochemistry. So when the discipline of engineering and medicine interact, it is called bioengineering or biomedical engineering. Biomedical engineering. So instrumentation is the use of measuring instruments to monitor and control a process. It is the art and science of measurement and control of process variables within a production laboratory or manufacturing area. Biomedical instrumentation is a field of creating such instruments that help us to measure, record and transmit data to or from the body. They help us to measure, to record and transmit data to or from the body. The main function of medical instrumentation is to measure or determine the presence of some quantity that may be useful for diagnostic purpose. So you are going to measure or determine the presence of some quantity that may be useful for diagnostic purpose. A medical instrument performs a specific function on the biological system. The function may be either of physiological parameters like blood pressure, velocity of blood flow, action potential of heart muscles, or temperature, pH value of blood, and rate of changes of all these parameters, physiological parameters. There are many instruments which are used in biomedical. As I told you, it involves measurement of biological signals like ECG, EMG, or any electrical signal which is generated within the human body. So biomedical instrumentation help physicians to diagnose the problem and provide treatment. To measure the biological signals and to design a medical instrument, concepts of electronic and measurement techniques are needed. Okay? To measure the biological signals And to design a medical instrument, concepts of electronic and measurement techniques are needed. We need those techniques. Classification of biomedical instrumentation system. Biomedical instrumentation system is classified into two types: biomedical instrumentation and in the biomedical instrumentation we have two major types. They are called clinical instrumentation and research instrumentation. Clinical instrumentation is basically devoted to diagnosis, care and treatment of patients, and clinical instruments are used by physicians and nurses, basically devoted to diagnosis, care and treatment of patients. Research instrumentation is used primarily in the search for new knowledge of pertaining to various systems that compose the human organisms. You're going to do some research. You are going to use primarily in search of new knowledge pertaining to various systems that compose the human organisms. Research instruments are generally operated by skilled technologists. They are generally operated by skilled technologists. Human body is a complex engineering marvel which contains various types of systems such as electrical, mechanical, hydraulic, pneumatic, chemical and thermal. These systems communicate internally with each other and also with the external environment. Using multi-level control system and communication network, the individual systems enable the human body to perform useful tasks, sustain life and reproduce itself. Using multi-level control system and communication network, the individual systems enable the human body to perform useful tasks, sustain life and reproduce itself. The primary purpose of medical instrumentation is to measure or determine the presence of some physical quantity that may some way assist a medical personnel to make better diagnosis and treatment. So why we are using this medical system is to measure and determine the presence of some physical quantity that may some way assist the medical personnel to make better diagnosis and treatment. So the basic four functional components of any medical system is you have a measurand, you have a transducer, you have a signal conditioner and display system. Signal conditioner and display system. So block diagram of biomedical instrumentation system consists of the measurand, then we have the sensor or the transducer, then the signal conditioner, and you have the last one is your data, the display system, and then your data storage and data transmission system. Display system, data storage and data transmission system. So any medical instrument, biomedical instrumentation system consists of the measurand, it consists of the sensor or the transducer, it consists of the signal conditioner, and it consists of the display system. The display system, and then your data presentation or data storage or data transmission system. The measurand. The first component of the biomedical system is your measurand. The physical quantity or the condition that the instrumentation system measure is called the measurand. Whatever the quantity which you are measuring, that is called the measurand. The source for the measurand is the human body, which generates a variety of signals. The measurand is the physical quantity and the instrumentation system measures it. Human body acts as a source of measurand and it generates biosignals. The human body generates biosignals. Example is body surface or blood pressure in the heart. All these are the biosignals that are being generated. So measurand, the human body acts as a source of measurand, source of the physical quantity which you are going to measure. Then comes your transducer or the sensor. Transducer converts one form of energy into another form, usually electrical energy, For example, piezoelectric signals which convert mechanical vibrations into electrical signal, you know that. So a sensor converts a physical measurement to an electrical signal. The sensor should be minimally invasive and interface with the living systems with minimum extraction of energy. Then we have the next one is your signal conditioner. The transducer, remember the transducer produces an usable output depending upon the measurand. The sensor is used to sense the signal from the source. It is used to interface the signal with the human. Then we have the signal conditioner. The signal conditioners are used to convert the output from the transducer into an electrical signal. The instrument system sends this quantity to the display system or recording system. Okay, it sends the quantity which has been measured to the display system or the recording system. Like generally signal conditioning process includes amplification, filtering, analog to digital conversion or digital to analog conversion. Generally it includes the signal conditioning process includes either amplification or filtering or analog to digital or digital to analog conversion. So signal conditioning, what does it do? It improves the sensitivity of the instrument. It improves the sensitivity of the instrument. Then comes your next device is your next component is your display. It is used to provide a visual representation of the measured parameter or the quantity. It is used to provide a visual representation of the measured parameter or quantity on a scale or on a chart or on a recorder. Example, chart recorder, CRO, cathode ray oscilloscope it is called. Sometimes alarms are used to hear the sound audio signals. Alarms are used to hear the audio signals. Example, signals generated in Doppler ultrasound scanner used for fetal monitoring. Then the last part is your data storage and data transmission. Data storage is used to store the data and can be used for future reference. Recent days, electronic health records are utilized in hospitals. Then we have data transmission, which is used in telemetric systems, where data can be transmitted from one location into another location remotely. So measurement in which biomedical instrumentation is employed is divided into two major categories, that is in vivo and in vitro. The measurement that is we are doing using biomedical instrumentation, it is carried out in two ways. It is employed in two categories. One is the in vivo and other one is the in vitro. In vivo measurement is made on or within the living organisms itself. They are made on or within the living organisms itself. An example would be a device when inserted into the bloodstream to measure the pH of the blood directly. When you are inserting the device directly into the bloodstream, then that type of measurement is called in vivo measurement. The measurement is made on or within the living organism. And in vitro measurement is performed outside the body, even though it relates to the function of the body. An example would be measurement of pH of the sample of blood that has been drawn from the patient. You are going to collect the blood sample and then test for the pH value. That is in vitro measurement. To summarize, we have discussed today the concepts of introduction to human body system. Introduction to human body system. Human body is a complex, highly organized structure made up of unique cells that work together to accomplish the specific functions necessary for sustaining life. Human body is a complex, highly organized structure made up of unique cells that work together to accomplish the specific functions necessary for sustaining life. Human body system consists of various, there are 11 systems of physiological system, subsystems of the physiological system, among which the most major subsystems are cardiovascular system, the respiratory system, nervous system, digestive system, excretory system, reproductive system, and biochemical system, which performs vital functions required to carry out the various body functions. Then coming to the cell. Cell is the basic building block of the body. Cell is the structural and functional unit of living matter capable of carrying out all the processes of life independently. The cell consists of plasma membrane. Inside the cell there are number of organelles floating in the fluid called cytoplasm. Each organelle contained in a membrane are small in structure. They have highly specialized functions. Okay, they are highly specialized functions. Cell consists of individual components. It consists of cell wall or cell membrane, the cytoplasm, the nucleus, and the cell organelles. Cell membrane supports and protects the cell. It controls the movement of the substances in and out of the cell. It separates the cell from the external environment. Every cell has a cell membrane. It is porous in nature and it has the property of semi-permeable nature. It allows certain components of the cell to certain substances to allow inside and flow outside. Then we have the cytoplasm. It is a thick, clear, jelly-like substance present inside the cell membrane. Most of the chemical reactions in the cell take place in this cytoplasm. It contains cell organelles such as endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, ribosomes. All are suspended in the cytoplasm. The nucleus contains the hereditary material called DNA. It sends signals to the cell to improve, to grow, to mature, to divide, and to die. The nucleus is surrounded by nuclear envelope and separates the DNA from the rest of the cell. The nucleus protects the DNA and is an integral component of the plant cell structure. Then we have the cell organelles. Cells are composed of various cell organelles and that perform certain functions to carry out life processes. The different cell organelles have different functions. Like we have the nucleolus, it is the site of ribosome synthesis. Also it is used involved in controlling cellular activities and cellular reproduction. Then we have the nuclear membrane, which protects the nucleus by forming a boundary between the nucleus and the other cell organelles. Then the chromosomes, which play a very crucial role in determining the sex of the individual. Then we have the Golgi bodies are called the cell's post office, as it involves in the transportation of materials within the cell. Then we have the ribosomes, which are the centers for proton synthesis of the cell. Then we have the mitochondria, which is called the powerhouse of the cell. It produces the ATP, the cell's energy currency. Then we have the endoplasmic reticulum, which is involved in transportation of the substances throughout the cell. Lysomes, which protects the cell by engulfing the foreign bodies entering the cell and helps in cell renewal. Therefore, it is called cell suicide bag. So these are the organelles that are present within the cell, human cell. The functions, the main functions, important functions of the cell are: it provides structure and support, it facilitates growth, it allows transport of substances, it produces energy, and it helps in reproduction. These are the major or most important functions of the cell. Then coming to the block diagram of biomedical instrumentation. The biomedical instruments perform a specific function on a biological system. They perform a specific function. Biomedical instrumentation, it is the field of creating such instruments which can monitor and control the process. The instruments which can monitor and control the process variables within a production or a laboratory or a manufacturing area. Creating such instruments that help us to measure, record, and transmit data to or from the body are called biomedical instruments. Their main purpose is to measure or determine the presence of some quantity that may be useful for diagnostic purpose, which may be useful for diagnostic purpose. So the primary purpose of biomedical instrumentation is to measure or determine the presence of some physical quantity that may some way assist a medical personnel to make better diagnosis and treatment. The four main functional components of any medical system are the measurand, the transducer, the signal conditioner, and the display system. The physical quantity or the condition that the instrumentation system measures is called the measurand. The source of the measurand is the human body, which generates a variety of signals, biosignals they are called. Then the transducer or the sensor is a device which converts one form of energy into an electrical form. Then we have the signal conditioner, which converts the output of the transducer into an electrical signal quantity which is suitable for operation of the display or the recording system. The signal conditioning could be, it may be most commonly used is either amplification or filtration or A to D conversion or D to A conversion, depending upon the requirement. Then we have the display system. The display system provides a visual representation or visible representation of the quantity as a displacement on a scale or on the chart of a recorder or on the screen of a CRO or in the numerical form. And we have the lastly we have the data storage and data transmission. Data storage is used to store the data and can be used for future reference. And we have the data transmission, which is used in telemetric systems where data can be transmitted from one location to another location remotely located. Also you can transmit that information. So these are the basic components of the biomedical instrumentation system. With this, I would like to end my presentation today.